All right. So um so now, because I want to look at different topics, I'm going to just do typography. So you can obviously open your Visual Studio Code. So if you're able to navigate to where the folder, like this can be like your intro that you've just shown us. If you just go here and then I'm just clear first. So if you are here, the intro, and then go here and put code dot. Okay, that's another way, because obviously I don't open it the way you used to open it. I always open my Visual Studio here, code here. So if you go to, if you're able to navigate there, but don't worry if you're not able to do that for now, you can just go through that way. But this is just like a quicker way of doing it. You can see, by just typing code there, I just open the typography. So I can here, in fact, here I can also type, I can even create a file here and say touch. But you can't do this on Windows. Okay, you can only do this if you install Ubuntu, which we are going to learn how to install later on. Or if you have Git Bash, which I've already shown you guys how to install Git Bash, Git for Windows. So basically, let me just be sure here. If you go to Git downloads, you can see here. Okay, so this is Mac, so I don't really need it, you know, unless maybe I want to just, yeah, but of course you can just go and download it. Let me just download. So I see, and then hopefully it's downloading. Yeah, but yeah, but that's what it's going to be. It's only going to come out as something like this, you know, but a different one, which is called Git Bash. Okay, so with that Git Bash, you can do all the things I'm doing here. You can do there first. So I can do touch or to touch index.html. Okay, by doing this now, I have both the folder and the file. Okay, so I have some oh no, for the folder and the file. Let us expand this for now. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't really need this for now. Let me just get rid of it. And then maybe place this like that. Yeah, so today we want to talk about typography, just a very short, the next 45 minutes or so, we want to look at typography and what's really typography. So typography basically has to do with the look or the appearance of your font. You can see this font is not looking as beautiful as you can see the way it is here now. Okay, like when you go to your, let me go to Google Drive. I don't also use, let me just go open new file. Okay, so typography, if I type in something here, introduction to whatever, okay, just an introduction. Okay, so I can choose this to be of this font family, Lato. Okay, let me just increase the size first. Say 20. Okay, so, and then you can see, you'll notice some differences between the typography. It just look like like this is different. It looks a bit different compared to area. A bit different compared to Korea and all of that. Okay, so each of the font family define a specific typography. So the typography is basically what describe the font. Okay, let's just put it that way. So it's basically what describe the font. Okay, so if you look at it, you open a web page, you can say that, oh, the typography of this web page, you don't like the typography of the web page. That's the way the font looks. The appearance of the font is the typography. Okay, the appearance of the font. Okay, so and this basically has to do with tests whenever you're dealing with tests on your page. And obviously when you're creating a web page, you definitely need to choose the kind of typography that when people are looking at it or reading your page, they won't feel bored. Okay, they won't feel, you know, like obviously this one's not, for me, this is not looking very good. So if I go to this career, for instance, let us see these guys. Okay, you can see this font here, and the typography of this font is a bit different from, I'm sure you would prefer this, the way this one looks to this one. Okay. Okay, so the typography is very, very important whenever you're dealing with, say, open rows, no new rows. Okay, let me try something here. So I'm going to just right click. You know, we have done this a couple of times. Inspect, even if you're using Windows, you have the same thing. Okay. Okay, so these guys, they've hidden their font family, so we can't really say what the font family is. But of course, that's what you do as well. You don't really, you know, most of the time you don't view it. Okay, but let's see if I go down here. Okay, so you can see the font family sense. So they use different font family, right? So which have the different font families have different typography. Okay, you can see the area here. Okay, so when you talk about typography, just basically you're talking about the appearance of the font, and you can obviously choose anyone. So, but it has to do with the text. That's most important thing here. So I'll just typography. Okay. And of course, as usual, we do this with CSS. Okay, and there are a couple of ways to describe it as well. So let's just write something here. So let's do a P. This introduction to cascaded shit. That's CSS, by the way. Okay, no, I think it's one word. I don't know. Two words. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. I'm going to show preview here. Okay, so this is the default for the machine I'm using. Of course, it's a MacBook, so it just gives you something that looks a little bit interesting. Okay, so how do you set up this typography? So I'm just going to go here. We already know how to write CSS rule, so you need to write a CSS rule for it. Okay, you need to write a CSS rule for the typography. So I cannot say here font family. Okay, but that's what determines. So there's a property called font family. Okay, who can tell me what's wrong with this code I've written? I'm trying to write here. Anyone? I'm writing. Why is it showing here? It's my CSS rule that I'm writing. Why is it showing here? Any idea, please?
No.
No idea. Felix, any idea why this is showing like this?
It was not enclosed.
Enclosed where?
That is the paragraph, that's the P. I was not enclosed with greater than less than sign.
No, it's there. It's there. I just because I just make it to fit my screen. See, it's there. I mean this one.
No. I mean in that P font family area.
Which one?
Yeah.
No, it's CSS. It's CSS. You don't use greater than equal to sign in CSS.
So it's because you didn't put it inside the style sheet.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm. What I want to hear. Because this is CSS, I have to put it here, and then you have that. Okay. So you can define, of course, you can define different. So if you have like a font family, right? Some of the font family may not work for in certain devices, right? So usually you want to specify more than one, because if this one is not there, yeah, you may not want the default one. You don't want to build an application that looks so different from what you expect across different devices. Okay, so usually what you can do is to specify a couple of them. I can say times. Now, okay, let's just stabilize times new. These are the ones that we're familiar with, right? Okay. Now, of course, you can see already that something is wrong here. So it's one word, but this one gives me a different color, and then this other one gives a different color. Okay, that's because whenever you have a space between words, okay, you need to put them in quotes. Like if you have, you put them like this. So this simply means that if this one is not there, no, not font size, sorry, font family. Now, but the problem with this way of writing this is that if this one, both of them are there, is the last one that will be enforced. Okay, that's the last one that will be applied. So this last one will not be applied. This one will only be applied in this case if this one is not there. Okay, because someone say cascaded. So you see, CSS read from top to bottom. So if you are written something at the top and then you come to the bottom and rewrite the same thing, is the one at the bottom that will always override the one at the top. Okay, so this is very, very important. So of course, you can go on and write. Now, why do we have to do this? We want to be sure that our app look exactly the way we want it. So that if you put just this area like this, right, and then somebody opens your app in a device that does not have this area, okay, as a font family that is inside the device, if it's not there, or if it's not in the system, then that means that automatically, and this one is also not there, that means that automatically it's going to give the default system fonts. Every system has its own font. Remember, when I type in this without this paragraph, but when I type in that, look at it, look at what it looks like. Okay, so let me paste this. All right, there are already some changes that we may not notice it, really. Okay, and let me paste do another one, font family. You can see there are a whole lot of them, yeah? These are the ones that are actually available in my system. Okay, so I can also do that. Okay, so I can do now. Look at this one now. You can see that instead of writing them separately on different lines, you can actually write them in one line, the comma. So it's not really advisable for you to write them like this. Okay, because what happened here is that if this one is the last one that will always be applied unless this one is available, unless the last one is not available. Okay, so but the basic idea, you can see that the font has changed here because this one is the one that has been applied here. Not that these ones are not there, they are also there, but because of the fact that this one is written at the bottom. So first of all, this one was applied actually, and this one was also applied, but at the point, when the browser was reading this, it now got to this point and applied the last one. So usually what you want to do in this case is to put them on the same line. Just write one and put them there. All right, so put them on, just copy, cut there. Okay, so you can see that even if the Korea is still there, this one is there. This was one that will actually change that, probably this one monospace. Even if they are still there, but the fact that this one is also available, so it just stopped here. Okay, so this one will only be applied if the first one is not there. So this is the difference. So you need to really know the difference between what I've just explained here. So if you put them separately, font family on different lines, it's the last one that will always override the other ones. Okay, the last one will always be applied unless the last one is not in your system. So if I write now, I'm going to write something here. So these are called the fallback. Okay, we call this fallback. So this one, any device that open your application will try to find out if the device has this area. If it doesn't, it will automatically look for Korea. If it doesn't, it will look for this one. If it doesn't, look for doesn't. Okay. But in the other case where we have different font family, let me write this one again. Okay, of course, robot is not here. So in this case, now this one will always be applied if it's available. The ones at the top will only be applied if this one is not available. Okay. Now, well, so even if I have, okay, you can see the font family. So the font family, I have all of this. You know, you may think that, oh, we have so many, so why do we need other ones? Like I can say Georgia, you know, Impact, Schreiler, the German one, area, narrow bold, and all of that. Moderna, cursive, fantasy, all of that. We have all of that. Okay. So there's so many. So you may think that, oh, because we have so many, so we don't need any extra. Of course, we have. There are also hundreds or thousands of fonts. Okay, there are a lot of fonts. You can already see that. I think I used to like this on the past. This segue. Okay. So let's see. UI. So yeah, so you can see you can have this format family, but if you want them to, normally we don't like to write it like this. Okay, we want to write them just in one line so that if one does not work, the other one. But if you write it like this, you have to have a reason why, and you have to know what you're doing. Okay, don't let it not be like a mistake that you're trying to say that, oh, if this one, the first one does not work, this will work. No, this one will always override these other ones on the top. But if you want to arrange them in as a fallback, okay, fallback basically means that if this one is not there, try to get this one. If it's not there, try to get this one. If not there, try to get this one. Okay. Okay, it's only after, so usually at the last bit we put sans serif. Okay, this is basically the system default as well. So it's only after, if we don't have any of this, it just, okay, you can just settle on this particular one. Because we have other system default, okay, but this particular one is the one we want you to settle on. So this one will not make much of different across different devices or different operating systems. Okay, so this is very, very important. Okay. So now you're going to find out that you each time you write something, you try to create, you know, some application, you have to always, I think we've gone here a couple of times for Go font. So don't forget that most of the time you just need Go font. Okay, if not, let me see, Go font. Okay, you can see that Roberto here, but let's just see. Let's go to the Google font and see, because we have options. Okay, so you can choose anyone. If you already know the name, okay, by virtue of usage, okay, you get to come to the point where you begin to know the names of these ones. Okay, for instance, now I know Lato, I know Roberto. Okay, so let's say I like this one, which is dancing script. Okay, it looks like dancing. I want this kind of thing. Okay. So one thing I can do is just scroll down here, and yeah, you can see this is a regular one. See, then you have the size you're seeing 500, 400 is the thickness. Okay, the thickness. So the higher the value, the thicker it becomes. So if you want to include the light ones, and unfortunately for this one, I don't think it has a light. The regular, I start from regular. So let's just take this regular one, and then you can see there are two ways here: import and link. Okay, so we're going to try the two of them. So just copy this. You don't need to look at what it is there. All right, just copy and go to your head before the style. Okay, and paste it there. Okay, don't worry about whatever it is there. Just yeah. So now that you have pasted it, now you can then include, you can then use it. Okay. So in fact, I'm going to remove all of this and change it to font family, what we call it, dancing. In fact, you won't see here. This plus just means space here. So dancing script. So I'll do dancing. Okay, see, it has changed because I change it to dancing script. So it's like looking like it's dancing. Okay, there. Yeah. So obviously, if this one is not here, you can, system UI, a whole lot of them. Okay, so I do Auto, Georgia, whatever, Serif, Segway, Cambria. So basically, all these ones will be applied only if and only if this is not. Okay, let's try. So I'm going to remove what I just pasted. Okay, so it came with a lot of stuff. So I'm just remove it. Of course, see, this is Cambria that is there because this one could not be found. Obviously, it's not part of the system font. Okay, so it's something I got from Google. And so for it to work that way, you have to obviously be connected to the internet because this is actually getting it directly from the Google font. And it's because I'm connected to the internet, that's why it worked out like this. It's actually getting it directly. Okay, so this is one way to get Google font into your system. And of course, you can use any one. So if I copy this, okay, so that one, if you check here, this is very important. Okay, this is the regular one, right? So it's just regular. Okay, that's the main one. So if I want to add all of this, because I need to have some text that is thick, that is bold like this, so I can just add it, and add this one. Okay, this one's already added. Then I'll do that before I actually come here and copy. So as I add it, you can see that the numbers will appear. This 500, 400, 600. So I just copy. So right now, let me do something first so that you see the difference. So I'm going to I'll go back here and do what we call font weight. So if you want to make something bold, you do font weight. Like it's font weight. So you can see it gives you these numbers. Okay, so let me put 600. I don't know whether there's any change. And put 400. There's really no change. And put 400. Check, look at this and see, notice if there's any change. Let me put 500. Okay, let's put 700. And that is why it's not being effective here is because when we first of all copied this, right, we just selected only one, which is 400. Okay, so that's why the text, if you are using this now, is you can't have something that is bolder than this. So if you want this to work, so you just need to remove that and paste the new link. Because this new link, yeah, first of all, I'll remove that. It's now bold, and that bold is coming from this one. Because this is there, and then it contains this value by default. So the one that you're taking from Google, what is this? Okay, because of the size of the text, it's not really making much difference, and because of the way this thing is also written, it's not really but this is really how you want to do it. So there you can now see that 400 can work. You can see, notice something as I type 400. Let me type 500. Just look at the text. Do you notice anything? Let me type 600. See, it becomes bolder. Let me type 700 now. Oh, no, it's 7,000. So it doesn't understand it. So I'll just change. Yeah, it becomes bolder. Okay. And that is just simply because I went here and I actually selected this sizes. Okay. Maybe we should try with another one. So this is very, very important. Let me see. Lato, like Lato. Okay, it's Lato font. Okay, so same thing here. Okay, I think this one will make more sense. So I'm just going to copy the light one, the italics, like 700, 400, all of that. As I'm selecting it, is also the values are entering. Okay, but this time I'm going to use import. Okay, so with import, import is a bit differently, so it has handled a bit differently. So I'm going to just comment out this, so it's no longer effective. I've removed that, commented it out. So with import, you have to put it inside your CSS. So one way we can do that, just go to your style and put import and paste it here. Okay, obviously it gives you the when you copy it, it just to make sure that you have it, with your CSS. It just to make sure that you put it inside your CSS, so it comes with the tag. Okay, but we don't need the tag because we already have the tag here. Okay, we already have the tag. So, and then one thing you will notice that as I type this, it looks like this font behind the scene contains this dancing script. That's the only reason why it's showing that it's also, so behind the scene means that it has something to do with dancing script somewhere in the design. Okay, but that's not what we're looking at. So let's just do font size, and I do Lato. Okay, this font size, no, font family, sorry. So that is Lato. Now let's look at the weight. 100. See that? In fact, that's also font size, just in case. Let me just put font size here. So the font size, let me just put 40 pixels. Okay, so I make it look a little bit. So look at the weight. So when you see something on the web page and see, oh, the thing is very thin, so they're not the type of thing you can easily achieve here. Okay, when you say 40, okay, this is Lato. It should have Lato, I believe. Is that Lato font? How do you add font? Raise hand Lato. Okay, probably it does not have Lato. Maybe just Roberto. Okay, anyway, yeah, you can do it here with this is Google Docs. So you have this one, you have light, you have normal, you have video, you have bold, you have extra bold, you have black. So that's just what we have here. Okay. So sometimes you see a text that looks just like this. It's just because of the font weight. When you reduce the font weight. Now if I change to 700, yep, it becomes that. So I can make it very, very thin. So it depends on the design. Sometimes you need something like this. It looks very, very interesting and look nice. Okay. All right. So today we've learned about Lato, but I really want to stress the fact that you need to make use of this. It's very, very important that you know how to use this. Very, very important. Okay, you know how to use Google Font, so you can basically just create about anything. All of this kind of stuff you can. I just say just do handwritten. Is there anything like that? Okay, maybe it's not written as handwritten. And okay, and also when you type something on your, you can now understand what's really happening when you try to type something on. If you want to type a WhatsApp status, so you provide with all these different fonts. Okay, so you have an idea of how those fonts are expressed. Okay, so like this one. Okay, so you can let's see. Okay, this kind of font, so we can change that to this as well. So but then definitely need to go here, and it has only regular select. So this particular one does not have a light one, so you have some of them like that. So so what actually happened was that the dancing script was still there selected. Okay, so I see. So we have the dancing script was selected before, we have the Lato, then now we have this one, which is, what's it called, delicious hand drawn. Okay, so all of them are there, so that's why they all work. So you just copy this, and remember you have to put this in your CSS if you are using that. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this again and then put that. Yeah. So sometimes it's more. Sometimes we prefer to just use this one because you can say if I'm using this, it has to have a lot of stuff there. Okay, but of course you don't usually use it here. In most cases, you want to create your own style sheets, CSS style like this. Okay, and then copy this, all of this, to be fair, not just that. Remember, we've done this before, so just remove that. Don't really need this here. And then go here. And then, yeah, so, but the import should always be at the top here. Okay, it will still work, but right now it's not working. But let's just see the hand drawn, or as expect, delicious hand drawn. Okay, so let's put that first. Delicious. Okay, of course, 2 words, right? So hand drawn, okay, not hand drawn, hand drawn. So 2 words. So by convention or the usual way, just put them inside because there are 2 different words together. Okay, of course, not showing here because we have not included it. So instead of copying all of these links and then cluster your code, you just have one of this link here. Okay. href or maybe real for style sheets, and then href style.css, and then immediately it changes that to this. Okay, so this is the end for today, and yeah, but what I really want you to get is how to get these fonts and how to apply them. Okay, and also, of course, you can also increase the font size as you want. So I can change this to, doesn't matter, 100. Copy the whole. Yeah. So let me open in the browser. Open in browser, and then you have this size sheet. But then if I change this again to which one was that? Lato. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so these are things that you can easily just quickly do if you know what you're doing. All right, so that's the end today. What, any question? Yeah, so, and again, try as much as possible to learn these things by yourself as well. Okay, so you can, any questions? Sorry if I, all this is that coming like so easy, like I'm doing, as if it's just, it wasn't like this before, right? Like I've told you guys before, all the time okay, yeah, okay. Question, please.
Good evening, Coach.
Hello, Benjamin.
Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Apologies, I came late.
No worries.
Okay, just coming from the clinic. Okay, so for example, I want to create a column. Let's say 2 columns.
Okay, 2 columns. Okay.
3 columns. How do I go about it?
Okay, so we're not gotten there, but I'll give you. Okay, let me just quickly show you something. It's obviously something we're supposed to get maybe in the next couple of.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're going to. But basically, if you want to create 2 columns, no, obviously these are very, very common on the website. Okay, so to create column, let's say. Let's create the first. So, I don't know. The class call to maybe the class. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, yes.
So how am I giving them name? Because it's CSS that will help me, so I need to give them names so I can use CSS to fully manipulate them. So I'm going to go here to our CSS. Let's call it this one. Let's call it container. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I'll just come here. So it's a class. So I'll just say container. Okay. So let's just also just get those colors. One. Now, I just want them to look exactly the same, so I can just put I just select them together. Okay. So call 2, comma. This is how you select the same elements, different elements together. Okay. So, and then write a rule that applies to all of them. Okay, just separate them in column, but you have to see put the dots because they are all classes. So let me just do a height of, let's say, maybe 200 pixels and a width of say 200 pixels. And then for each of them, I'm just going to give them different colors. Okay, so this one will now apply to each of them. So background color, I don't know why I like crimson. And then this one, background color, sky blue. And then this one, background color, yellowish green. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so see them here. They are also here to be fair, so just that. Let me just get rid of this for now. Okay, so they're also here, so it's not like but see, this is what you have, and of course this is just HTML for now. It's a little bit of CSS. Now to put this in a column, so what you can do, there's a CSS property called grid. So I said display. I call it grid. Okay, of course nothing happened. Yeah, but it's so whenever you want to place something, you want to do layout, alignment, or arrange something in a grid or in a layout in CSS, because all these things you're saying on this website, you see, this thing is directly at the middle. This thing here, this is directly in the middle of this. All right, they are properly arranged. This and this, they are all arranged like in your WhatsApp. All right, in your WhatsApp, see your picture and your name by the side. They use what they call flexbox. We're going to learn how to do that. Flexbox. You can see this is an icon with a text. Okay, it's properly aligned. Yeah. So you can also use grid to align, but usually you want to use flexbox. So we're going to get to flexbox later. Now we're going to do flexbox before we do grid. So now you need to now create column template. So say grid template columns. Okay. So I'm just going to do one FR. Okay, maybe I just do. So since the width is 200 pixels, so let's just do 200 pixel. 200 pixel, 200 pixel. Okay, so with that, but just put it those two, and you have already arranged it like this, yeah. So you see, that's it. So I've already arranged it. But how did I do that? I go to the container. This is container. Okay. And I said, I want to create a grid. Like you want to arrange books, right? You bring a table and you want to arrange books on that table. So the grid like a table, because you cannot arrange books in the air, all right? Or you will have to arrange in a shelf. Okay. So the container is more like saying that the container should be the container can be anything. Right, but you want it to be a grid, like you want it to be a table that you can put things, arrange something in columns on it, right? So that's a grid, and then you are not saying grid template columns because anything. These are columns, right? These are columns. You now say that the column of each of the elements, which here in this case we have 3, should be 200 pixels, 200 pixels. So they just occupy their width. But of course, this is not also what we want to how you want to arrange grid, right? So you may want to arrange this in the center. So how do you do that? So you still go to here, this guy here, and justify. We're going to learn of that content as a center. Okay. See that? So it's not in the center. Okay. So it's not in the center of the parent. So you remember the size of this, the container, the width of the container is the width of the parent. Look at it. Yeah. So it's directly on the parent, which is the body. Okay, unless I reduce the width. So so if I say center it, you just center it in the body. So that's you do justify content. So you just carry everything and put it in the body. But again, this is not how you want to do you don't want your columns to be joined like this. So what you do, you just come here again and put grid. You just do gap. It's very simple. Gap, I'll say 20 pixels. Okay, so it creates gap between the elements. So I can even put like, let's see, maybe I should put 100 pixels. So I have a proper gap. Okay, so here you can then have basically just do anything you want. You know, like here we have, I don't know, let me just copy this stuff here. Let's cut it and put it inside. Now I just put the color job, but obviously you can put anything inside your columns, right? So, and then put test, and then yeah, again, even when you put this, it won't look exactly the way you want by default. Okay, so you may want to then arrange the test again in this column. Okay, so once we can do all of that. So this is what we're going to do it in details, right? So I can do. Once we can actually do here, right? Let's do this so that you see how this column really works. So I'm going to increase this thing here. Copy. I want to make it 6 instead. So if I do that, you now have this. Okay, so by default, it just falls to the next line. Okay, but you can also specify that you don't want it that way. So let me just keep copying and just put it, because I've written the CSS already, so you can see different. Yeah, so you can basically just arrange it. So this is now where you won't get interesting. Okay, when you now come here, and then you can do a lot of things by this. How you, when you're designing this in real life, right? You may have to come here and play around with it and really see what it looks like. Okay, why are these elements not where they should be? Let me just come here. Let's see. Okay, so don't worry, let's not go into these details, right? But there are a couple of things we can still do here to really play around with it. There are a couple of them, but let's not go into these details for now because we're not doing grid. Well, I'm not just trying to show you that you can basically just arrange this thing. And now, as I'm looking at it, it's already looking, you know, somehow not very good. So what I would do here, let me just quickly do this: align item, center, justify items. Now ask me, how do I know this? You know, if man, you just practice really. So center. Let's see. So I'm going to justify align content. Okay, no worries now. Or you can also do align content and align self center. Okay, I'm not really change here. But anyway, this is how you do. Any question? So you can do all of that.
Yes. Okay, thanks so much. Please, number 2 question is, can you make this video available today?
Okay, I can make it available today. So if it's not available in the next 1 hour, please test me.
Okay. Yeah. Then the second question, I really want to understand this div, when you use div and container.
Okay, so this container is not a tag; it's just a class name, and it makes sense to call it container. I can call it anything, Mike.
So why are you using the div?
Okay, so remember the div is just okay. I would say it's just a container, it's just a tag that is used to group items.
Okay.
Now remember, see, it's just a tag that you use to group item. You can also use to put just text or put anything. But the difference between this div and span is that this one will allow the item to fall on different lines, not the same. It's a block level element. It will not allow element to be on the same. So typically, a div, this is what a div will always give you by default. They will fall on different lines. They will not be on the same, and you have to force it to. But I want to create those elements to be individual elements. So if they are on different lines, but I can then force them to be on the same line. Yeah, but the most important thing about this is that it's just a container that you can use to group items so that you can handle those items in your CSS.
Okay.
You understand? Because I cannot come here and call, okay, what should I call all this? They have no semantic meaning, really. What should I call? Should I say that this is a paragraph? It's not a paragraph. Okay? But it's just a container that used to group items, a block level element that you group items. In fact, in some projects, right, you find yourself using just div, and then you now use the div. Div is like more like a universal element, just so to say, universal element. So instead of even using a paragraph, I can use div and just put the thing directly here without a paragraph, right? And then use my CSS to control and make it look like a paragraph.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just a tag that's used to house elements to enclose a group of elements. But when you're dealing with elements that are similar, you want to put them together. Like all this in their columns, right? So it makes sense. Yeah. So to put them together, group them together. So I can handle it. But if I do not handle it like that, to write this code will be very, very difficult. Okay, you can see now I shall change it to Mike now. Yeah. So if I don't group them, I need to group them because that is even the way. So if you want to create a grid, right, you must group the elements. But it can also be H1 if you want to. Okay. But it doesn't make sense, really. Okay, it does not really make sense. But yeah, but since we don't really have any semantic, like it does not really, what we are doing does not really have any specific meaning. Okay, so it just makes sense just put them in the div.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just like when you open,
sorry.
Just like when you open a paragraph tag and you also close it.
Yeah, you have to close it, of course. Is it this div? Yeah, it's just a normal tag. Yeah, just a normal tag. But it has no semantic like paragraph. You know what the paragraph is. What again? H1, you know that it's a heading, but this one has no semantic like that. So most of the time, you just use when you want to. You don't have any meaning for each of the elements. Like I just stated this now. What should I call this particular box? Is it a paragraph? Is it a H1? No, it's not. So I just call it div. You understand? I just call it. Yeah. And then I use my CSS to all these classes now just for me to be able to handle it in CSS. That's just it. Okay. I can give
the
like
class. The class too, you just put it.
Yeah, you have to put the class because if you don't put this class now and you say you want to put in div, we'll see what will happen. Okay, imagine I don't put the class, right? I don't put all those class names now. And I say it's div now, so I'll just come here and remove this and say div. And then also remove all of these because they're all divs. And then I remove this. I remove this div. For which div? I don't know. I never have 1 million div in my code. All the thing will be applied. You can see it has only one color now. You can see what's up.
Okay.
And then just the color is just the last div. Okay, even if I've made the so that div as a container, but everything just applied to all of them. Okay. So it doesn't make sense. Like so that's why you use class names. So you can target a thing. So if I want a particular color, I want a particular text. Maybe in this kind of thing, I may want a picture here. So I need to know the one that I want to put the picture. So that's why it's good to use a class name already.
Okay.
All right. So sorry guys, I have to stop there.
Thank you so much.
Next time, yeah. All right. So guys,
I will send you a chat if I didn't see it.
Yes. So some mentioned around 9 o'clock. But usually it takes like, hey, this is because what we're using here is Google Meet, so it takes like 30 minutes before the team will come. But so yeah, so but should be in the next 1 hour. It should be ready.
Okay.
I have
Thanks so
one question.
much.
All right.